Hi, I'm Kari with Maximum Joy, Minimum Stress. Welcome back to the Joyful January series. In this series of videos, what we're focusing on is how you can have a more fulfilling and satisfying winter season for you, one that really fires you up and fuels you in the long haul. So today's emphasis is going to be on setting and keeping realistic expectations for yourself. So the first thing I want you to do is to get out your holiday essentials list that we crafted in the last video and bring that back out because we're going to continue to touch base on that. If you haven't made a holiday essentials list, I want to ask you to go back and watch Joyful January #1 and then come back and join us here. Should be a good time. So today I want to talk about how you can bring this list to life and then also how you can keep it at a manageable place. It is easy to lose touch of those goals and those values and how you want to feel on January 1st. And it's also really easy to let kind of an inflation effect take over. And so we're going to come back and circle back around to that as well. So as always, I'm asking you to have a pen and a paper ready to write down some of your thoughts. But I'm not asking you to do anything I haven't done because I think that this work is really important for all of us to be doing. So the other part of this is that in coaching, I'm not here to give you all the magical answers. I'm not showing up saying, this is how you do this. I'm going to ask you questions that help you get closer to the truth that's inside you. It's asking you to look at your strengths, your resources, the things that you do well, and utilize those things to navigate the obstacles and the stress and the whirlwind of the holiday season. So today I've got a few questions for you to be reflecting on in that journal, that piece of paper, that scratch paper that you've brought along, whatever it may be. So the first question should be relatively easy. What are you looking forward to this holiday season? What do you already have planned or kind of in your brain you know you're going to do that you're excited for? What's kind of got your fire going? And then I want you to also look at your holiday essentials list and say, what are the things that I'm doing that already embody the components that are on my essentials list? And I think that's important because we're already doing some of this stuff. We've already made a few decisions about what fuels us and what matters, and that's important. So let's go ahead and jot some of those down. What's the stuff that you're looking forward to? The flip side of that coin is to look at your holiday essentials list and see what is on there that isn't in your holiday plans. Is there something on there that matters to you? That you don't have a way to celebrate and embody and do something with. For me, when I was looking at my list, and I use myself as an example, so I'm not telling other people's stories when they don't necessarily want them told, but for me, I was looking at my list and I thought, gosh, I said that being in nature was a part of these wonderful memories that I have, but I don't really have a way to incorporate that. And then the question that comes with incorporating that is, should it be incorporated? Is it important enough? Or is trying to find a way to do that more hassle than it's worth? Is it going to create more stress instead of less? So that's a really important question. And I also encourage you to say, okay, does it have to be a big thing or could it be a little thing? Being in nature could be organizing some sort of like winter hike and that sort of thing, or it could just be me committing to the fact that when it snows for the first time, I'm going to go out and I'm going to take a 15-minute walk and just enjoy it and smell it, look at the trees and whatever else. 15 minutes, boom, done. And I'm getting that fix, that thing that I said was really important to me without stressing myself out more. So I want to encourage you to take a look at it. This is the space where that inflation effect can come into play so much, the one that I referred to earlier. It's just one more thing. It's just one more gift. It's just one more recipe to cook or one more party or whatever else. And that's kind of where we end up stressing ourselves out a lot of the time because there's so many things that feel fun and exciting. Maybe you're a really big extrovert and there's one more party invitation on the table and you go, oh, I love parties. Is that going to be one party too many where you're just exhausted and worn out? Is that party even going to be any fun? Is it with people that you actually want to spend time with? Or are you just going, oh, it's a party, I should go. That's what I do at the holidays. So really asking yourself each step along the way, does this line up with my holiday essentials list? And does it match with what I need to get to January 1 feeling the way I want to be feeling? So kind of that litmus test and coming back to that over and over and over again. So, okay, so that's 2 questions so far. The third question, and this might be harder, is what is going to distract you? What is going to take you away from the things that matter the most? And let's be honest, if this was easy, we wouldn't be having these conversations or doing this soul work. So what is it that pops up? What gets your attention and gets you going in another direction? Is it what other people want from you? Is it your work schedule? Is it holiday traditions that you do even though you don't really like them? Is it other things that you like doing that will pop up? We got to find a way to make it all work together. And I'm not saying that any of those things are inherently bad, but it's all gotta fit together. And there might be some of those things that you just dread. And quite frankly, I have to ask you honestly, do you have to do those? If you dread them, do you have to? And that's a deeper conversation to get into, and I'm happy to have that conversation with you, but I also want you to ask yourself, is that really a have to, or can it be set aside? So when we think about the stuff that distracts us and knowing that that's the reality of the holiday season, what are you going to do when that flares up? How are you going to manage that? And I want you to make a really good list for yourself today of possibilities. Let's just brainstorm. And then at the end of it, I'm going to ask you to pick one strategy. Not all of them. That's exhausting too. Let's pick one. So to think about a few examples here, if it's money and gift giving that comes up for you, could you, in that moment where you're feeling that stress of, do I buy this, do I not? Could you put the item back on the shelf and give it 2 days and then come back? Maybe that's a possibility. Maybe if it is the parties and the events and those types of commitments, can you just respond to that tentatively rather than saying yes or no? Say, okay, I'm going to do my best to be there, and then maybe update your RSVP as you get a little bit closer. Maybe that's a possibility. If gift giving and feeling like you have to have something for everybody is a possibility, can you have a backup set of holiday cards? Then you can bust them out and write a really heartfelt note on short notice so that you do have something for everybody. What are other possibilities? I mean, I'm trying to cover the gamut here, but I want you to focus in on whatever it is that's going to distract you. If it's food and fitness, can you set yourself a reward for the end of the season? You're going to go get new shoes or new headphones or I don't know what, maybe some new tunes for your iTunes. What can you do that will incentivize that so you can make healthy, good decisions all along the way? You might need to talk about your expectations with others. As you're sharing the holiday season, maybe there's some conversations that need to be had about what fuels you and what drains you, and how you can make all of that work together. If it's money, it might be revisiting your budget on a weekly basis and saying, how am I doing? What's going on here? Am I living this the way I want to be living it? Whatever your backup plan is, it's got to make it so that attaining your goals is more realistic and more achievable. And that's my only intention for you. That is the best that we can do, is to have a backup plan for the plan, right? And if you need another backup plan after that one, we'll put that in place too. That's certainly a possibility. So of the things that you've brainstormed, pick one. Just one. Don't make it more complicated than it needs to be. And is that something that you can stick to? Is that something that you can commit to and say, yes, when this comes up, I will do XYZ. That's my plan. Part of that is also figuring out, who do you need to tell, or where do you need to write it down so that you don't forget about it, so you can keep it in focus, or so that someone else can ask you about it. Hey, how's that budget going? Hey, have you accepted too many party invitations? Whatever it might be, find a way to hold yourself accountable to that too. So I would also love it if you posted your backup plan on my blog at MaximumJoyMinimumStress.com. Click on the link that says the blog and then enter in what your plans are. What are you doing? Because I want to hear those and I want to know how you're embodying your holiday essentials this season. So definitely important there. Also on that website, you are going to find a survey where I ask people, what does stress them out? And the top 3 things that they responded were money, gift giving, and food and fitness. So in the upcoming weeks, we're going to dig a little bit deeper into each one of those topics. So I look forward to having those conversations with you. So please come on back, especially if those three are up there for you. Let's dig into it so that you can walk away with some strategies that are really particularly helpful for you. Yeah, that's what we'll do in coming up weeks. Today, you are walking away with a plan for how you can stick to your realistic expectations in this holiday season. Let me know how it's going. I want to hear more from you and know what else we can be offering here to help you have a joyful holiday season. So, as always, I'm Kari with Maximum Joy, Minimum Stress, and I will see you very soon on the Joyful January series. Thanks.